Hi guys, Neil at Italia Autos back here again for another episode with the GTV. What I'm going to be doing in this episode is the cam belt, hopefully checking it out and making sure the timing hasn't slipped. I've also been busy behind the scenes doing some work on the green one. I have stripped all the engine out of it and all the running gear, and I've put a few bits back on it, so let's have a look at where I'm at with it now. I have now fully removed the engine. I've removed the radiator and the radiator fan just to give me a little more access to get the engine back in. I have changed over the steering rack, and I've also changed over the brake fluid master cylinder. So we are almost go for the engine to go back in. Some of you guys are probably wondering about the condition of the engine bay. No issues there at all. There's a couple of light rust spots, but nothing major at all. Let's get the car in the air now. I have fully rust protected and undersealed the underside of the car. Had a word with the customer, and as it's in such good condition, we might as well rub it down and get everything repaired. I've also fitted the donor car's rear subframe. I've literally just put the 4 bolts back in. I'm yet to move all the brake pipes into position and wire everything up. When removing rear subframes, they're really quite easy. It's just 2 brake pipes, 2 ABS connections, and 4 bolts holding the subframe in. But when doing the subframe, that bolt is a proper pain in the backside, because if you can see, this arm always gets in the way of that bolt. So it takes for ages to undo it with a little ratchet spanner, just winding it down. So if that bolt is stuck tight and you can't get enough purchase on it, you may need to just remove this rear arm just to enable you to get to that bolt a little bit better. Now, when I refitted it, as the car's this way round, I couldn't get the forklift in. So I placed the subframe on 2 spare tyres, so it was up in the air, lowered the ramp down onto it, and then bolted it into place. Now onto the engine. I've got a brand new cam belt kit in here, a genuine one. I've also bought a water pump, but since I've bought it, the customer has said that one has only been fitted for literally 2,000 miles, less than that. So we're not going to be changing the water pump on this one, but we are going to be changing all the tensioners and everything, just because they're all really rusty, and I wouldn't want to reuse them after this accident anyway. So guys, not very far into the cam belt change, and it is very bad news, unfortunately. I have prized the cam cover back so I can rotate the engine by hand. I am running into resistance when I'm turning the engine, so that's prompted me to get top dead centre, pop the cam locks on and see the position they are in. The red lobes are where they should be, and the cams are way out, literally on all 4 of the lobes are way out of position. What I've also found is the bottom of the hydraulic lifters are not reaching the bottom of the pulley. They are staying still. They will go down, but they won't come back up again. So that is telling me that we have valve damage and the valves can't close properly. So I need to give the customer the bad news now and see what next step we're going to take. Right, let's start with the head. As you can see, the cylinders aren't too bad until you look at the middle one, and you can visibly see that there's water been sitting in that cylinder, and the head gasket's also been rusting. So that's definitely not going to be going in another car, mainly because of the big hole on the other side of the engine. Now let's have a look at the engine. You can see from the head gasket that blew out. So I'm 99% sure that it was just frost damage. You've also got sort of a compression in the head gasket there, and you can see another hole in the head gasket. Let's pull this off. Trying to do it one-handed is not going to be easy. There we go, and inside the engine it isn't much better. Can you see all that furred up rust? And see even more down there. So the whole engine, if I do decide to repair it, is going to need rebuilding, just purely for the fact of all that rust in the block. So I imagine that's going to probably spread into the sump as well. One thing I haven't done is drain the oil out of it. Let's see how much oil is in there. It still looks fairly clean, to be honest, and quite good. Sorry about it focusing there, look. Do you reckon there's water in that or not? I'd probably say not. Does it still smell oily? Oh yeah, it still smells of oil. It also smells of petrol. So, yep, that's not good. Yeah, so I wouldn't put this engine back together by just rebuilding that front head just because of the amount of stuff which is in it. So I will probably get this rebuilt and then sell it on, because there's always demand for a refurbished V6 engine, especially the phase 1s as they're getting rare. Yeah, not how I wanted this episode to end, unfortunately. It would have been nice if I could have done the cam belt on this and give you a few more pointers on how to do cam belts when it's inside the car. So yeah, we'll try that in the next episode. I hopefully have another engine coming next week, and we can hopefully have another video for you next Friday. So there we go. Let me know what you think of this video in the comments below, and if you've got this far through the video, please consider subscribing. Don't forget to like the video, and I shall see you in the next one.